What's going on, guys? Welcome back to HQ. Well, we got some work to do today, guys, but it's actually not going to be on HQ. It's going to be next door at Gumby's. He's been doing a lot of clearing and stuff over there for his house area and all of that with Bertha. And Bertha, well, Bertha don't have a lot of finesse, right? So Uber is a lot better at kind of finessing the ground and land and leveling it out. And being that I have box blade on Uber, I'm going to take Uber over there today and we're going to box blade the area. And he's got a lot of stuff pushed up in piles, so we're going to take the bucket off of Uber, put the grapple on, and I'm going to stack all that up so we can burn it in the future. So we're going to get Uber warmed up, get the bucket switched out, head over there to Gumby's and see if we can help him out. All right, guys, we got the grapple on. Let's head over. All right, guys, we made it over here to Gumby. Looks like he's done a lot of digging in his little J pond there. He's actually in there doing a telehealth appointment for his VA stuff. But what we're gonna do is get a lot of this bigger stuff right here out of here. That's the whole reason I put the grapple on. Get some of this bigger stuff that the box blade would pick up. Clean everything up a little bit, put it up here in piles out of the way, and then me and Uber is basically going to start box blading this whole area out right here to start leveling it out, kind of fine tuning it a little bit. I believe this is where his house is going to be going. in the future. So while he's in there doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and get you guys set up, and we're gonna start moving all this bigger stuff out of the way. Let's get it. All right, guys, I got most of the stumps and debris and trash and stuff like that out of there. Gumby's done with his telehealth conference thing. I have him over there kind of backfilling some of the low spots with the dirt that he dug out of his J pond right there. That way, whenever I'm box blading, I can kind of level it out as we go. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and drop down to box blade, and I'm basically gonna just start doing circles and circles and circles and circles and circles, leveling all of this out. This is very, very unlevel, different heights, grounds, all that other stuff. But as I start smoothing out the top, we can kind of see where the lows and the depressions are, and he can start bringing in dirt, and we can level this house pad out a little bit. It's a big project, guys, but we're gonna get it done. Let's get after it. All right, guys, I think that's a wrap as far as this little project here. Took a little time. A lot of this was time-lapse, guys, so it doesn't really do a true scale of how long it took. But there was a lot of stuff in here. Gary's got tow truck over there going now with just a box blade with no teeth, kind of fine-tuning it, leveling it out. But I went ahead and went around his little J pond as well, leveled out all of the ruts and the stuff that he had piled up there from digging this out, and used some of that dirt to bring all of this up. He's still gonna have to bring in quite a bit of dirt right here in this area just to get it level to that top part right there, because he wants it to kind of set up a little bit higher for his house pad. But it was dipped way down. We brought a lot of dirt in. All of the dirt that he had piled up here from digging the J pond is now over here and leveled out, and it's a lot more smoother transitions now up all of the hills, and pretty much all of the roots and bigger rocks the tow truck can't take care of, Uber has gotten. There's still little things like this, but when he brings in dirt, all that'll biodegrade. But it looks good out here now. Huge difference. Now I know when y'all seen us doing that road on Come On Mountain, you notice that the box blade was jumping and it wasn't really getting a lot of dirt. It's because the landscape up there, guys, is completely different than down here. This is a lot softer. There's no boulders and stuff like that. There's just little rocks and stuff, and the box blade works like it's supposed to. Up there on the mountain, it's a whole nother animal, guys. That ground is rough and tough and solid, and there's boulders as big as me up underneath there, which keeps that box blade jumping and not being able to hold that dirt. That's why you got to take pass after pass after pass. It'll eventually get it, but it takes a lot more effort for sure. This area here you can knock out in a hurry. He's over there leveling out the driveway side over there where he dug a bunch of ditches. It's definitely got it. You find it? But I like the concept of the little J pond. That's pretty cool. Whenever you fly a drone, you'll be able to see a J for junk to gems. They just don't make old tractors like they used to, guys. They just don't make them. All right, guys, I'll bring y'all back when we get into something else. Well, what do you think about it?
I think it looks a lot better.
I told them that you need to do a lot more digging because we need to raise it up a lot more.
Yep.
But
get that pad level, yeah.
All of the big stuff and roots and rocks and all that's out of there. At this point, all we're doing is scraping and leveling stuff that's going to be filled in. Yep. So I did go ahead and go on the side of your J pond, which I like the sound of that too, J pond.
J pond?
I like that. And got as much of that dirt as I could back over there too. But it looks a lot better over there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, once it's another week or so, it'll dry out enough I can start getting on the edge of that over there and start moving more of that.
Yeah. It's a big old J pond.
That gives me a lot more I can work with now.
Yeah, well, I wanted to get around the J pond so it can dry because it's still a little wet.
Yeah.
And Bertha, she's a big bottom girl.
Yeah.
And so that way a day or two, that'll dry out real good and you can back right up to the edge again without having to worry about digging ruts.
Yeah.
And then of course old tow truck right there, she's the scraper.
She ain't got enough.
Booyah.
Yeah. Does good for smoothing and leveling, but that's about it.
Yeah, once I got all the stumps and rocks and all that and got most of the dirt moved, and I seen him crank up old tow truck down, I was like, all right, he can level it out. But then I seen him in the low areas and I'm like, well, all we're doing is leveling stuff to bury.
Yeah,
So
pretty much, yeah.
At that point, so.
Yeah, I got to go back there and dig a lot more dirt out.
Yeah, But hey, at least you're digging a pond and not bringing in semi-truckloads.
Amen to that.
Because they're expensive. It's about $500 a truck just for fill dirt nowadays, unless you find somebody doing a job in the area and they'll bring it. So.
Yeah, I found one guy said he was going to bring me some in January, but he's like, it's all depends on if the job starts or not.
Yep. Yep. And in January it's cold is what's happening. So we'll see. But I got some work to do over there at HQ with the old box blade too, because Uber is going back to Come On Mountain today. Because I got a road that has been kicking my butt for a long time. And I need to make my road look like we just made that right there. I was telling them, because they gave me a lot of grief about the box blade not doing what it did today up there. It's a whole nother terrain up there.
Animal up there, yeah.
Yeah, it takes for every pass that you accomplish here, it takes about 10 passes to accomplish the same thing on the mountain.
Yeah. So, even Bertha don't like it up there.
No, it's hard ground with boulders the size of this tractor. And that's no exaggeration. Literally, it'll look like just a little rock, and then you'll start digging, and next thing you know, it's the size of a Ford. It's crazy. But we're going to do a little bit more leveling over there at HQ, because I'm about to put some grass seed down with all of the leveling that's happened over there. That way it can take root, some winter rye. And then we're taking Uber back to the mountain, and we're going to do the road. So let's get it. All right, we just drove over here to HQ. Got Wally back there putting a rake on his tractor. They're going to be raking out HQ today. Over here's where Pops hit something with the 0 turn. I'm going to go ahead and push all of this back, kind of clean this up a little bit now that I got the grapple on here. Maybe even do a little box blading in this area, just to clean everything up just a smidgen. That way they can rake the property. Then I also got to find out what's going on with the 0 turn, or see what Pops hit. All right, let me get y'all set up and we'll get going. All right, guys, I got that area over there pushed up and piled up a little bit. Micah's over there raking the yard with Wiley's tractor there. Got the rake on the back. Why I got the teeth on the box blade here, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clean this area up right here as well. Try to level this out a whole lot more, because we're gonna be putting some clover and some winter rye in all of this area right here, getting it all nice and cleaned up. So we might as well get this area situated as well and see if we can get some stuff kind of growing there for the winter as well to help with erosion. Eventually I'm gonna have to bring in a bunch of fill dirt for this area, but I at least want to get it cleaned up a little bit. Let's see if Uber's up to the task with the box blade. All right, guys, we're making some pretty good progress out here. I got a lot of the stuff out of this area right there. That big old house pad is solid, and I knocked down the hump quite a bit and got a lot of stuff out of there. Wiley's gonna take the rake that's on his tractor and rake the rest of these rocks out of the way. But we have a dozer coming here in about 2 weeks to work on the road out here all the way back to the new property that I purchased and sold Mary and Pops. And while we have that dozer out there, we're going to do some work here as well. We're going to get rid of the rest of that little hump, and we're going to slope all of it down to the ditch out there, so all the water runs to the ditch and drains down. And we're also going to push all of that up into one pile, so this winter I can burn it all and try to get a little bit of that dirt out of there as well while we're doing it. So, but we also got another load of rock out here right now. As you can see, I got some divots in the drive, so I'm going to take the teeth off of the box blade to where it's just the blade, and I'm going to try to level this out some before we put some rock down. We're going to widen it a little bit and widen the parking spot over here just a little bit more, come down there, and all of the extra rock we're going to try to smooth out this drive a little bit, because it is starting to settle quite a bit now from all the trenches that we dug for the power and water out here at HQ. All right, guys, let's get these teeth off and we're going to keep on getting it. All right, we got all of the teeth situated. Remember whenever I was telling y'all earlier about how rough it is? Oh, I missed one. Look at this one, guys. Look how bad that's bent. It's supposed to look like that, and that one is literally knifed like that, and that is solid steel, guys. That's how rough those boulders are on Come On Mountain. All right, got that situated. Let's go ahead and level some of this out. All right, well, the rock is still a little wet, so it didn't want to trailer that well. But we got the box blades, so we're gonna start feathering it. Pringles. I don't like original Pringles.
I do.
I know.
Want one?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
How about you folks? You like some?
You want some Pringles? Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
All right, guys, I am done. Sun's about to set. Got the driveway looking amazing. Got over there looking amazing. The whole yard's been raked out. It looks absolutely gorgeous, ready for grass seed. And got Gumby situated this morning. So made the community look good today, guys. Made the community look good, and the community worked on a lot of it. So it was a good day. But I think that's going to be about it, guys. So until we see each other again, come on, let's go on another adventure.